What's up, guys? We are back in the art room today for a cloudy, kind of moody landscape drawing. This one's gonna be more focused on like big thunderclouds, like out in a kind of grassy area, like a grassland or maybe a tundra. But as usual, our first step is to tone our paper. I'm using smooth Bristol paper today. I really don't like drawing my horizon lines like straight and, right in the middle. Maybe like the bottom 2/3, more or less. I'm gonna be drawing like these big, powerful, puffy clouds. So my clouds are going to be kind of creeping in from the distance coming up here. So that's going to be the sky. And my dark clouds will be coming in through here. I can add some highlights a little bit. Yeah, so these will be my clouds kind of coming up here. And then down here, maybe we'll have some rain showers off in the distance. We're gonna make this look like a grassland kind of area. Some rolling hills maybe. This will be closer to the foreground, so I'm gonna make this little hill have some kind of light bouncing off of it. Maybe somebody's walking and stops here at this spot to admire the thunderclouds and the views. So right now, just still doing these big shapes, blocking in the lighter areas. Not really to the point of adding like the details at this point. Charcoal can be pretty messy. So although I do get a little bit down on the floor, it mostly just kind of collects down here in this tray. And this room that I draw in, my art room, it's literally just for that, for drawing. So I ripped out the carpet. I think I got most of my blocking in, squinting occasionally and trying to picture this. Clouds are going up here. I got my horizon line. I got some rolling hills over here. And now I just need to work on the darker areas. So I got my gloves on because there's gonna be a lot of smearing here. So now I'm just gonna work on building up the shape of my clouds here. I'm gonna have it rain down here, but I need to give this storm that's coming in some shape. I wanted to draw some thunderclouds because here in Southern California right now, the clouds are creeping in and we're expecting a lot of rain tomorrow and over the weekend. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to draw some clouds. Just kind of goes with this whole charcoal, gloomy kind of vibe. But I want this nice and dark. I always bring up composition, and so that's what we're doing right now. I'll adjust as I go. I see some areas that are too dark and not kind of balanced out. I'll just make adjustments. It doesn't look like much now, but you guys gotta trust me on this. So now to the messy part, and this is why I'm wearing gloves. So I'm just gonna be smearing all this. And I've done a lot of drawings without gloves. And I like it because there's like pros and cons. The effect that it gives me, because the charcoal mixes kind of with the oils in my fingers, so I get like this real kind of blotchy, smudgy look. And for some of the drawings that I do, it just works really well. But on the flip side, it is just really messy on my hands. And then my hands get really dried out, my fingers. So Lately I've just been wearing gloves, and although I don't get the same look as when I use my fingers, like without gloves, it's still working out pretty well. I think it's a fair compromise for me. So I'm just gonna smear some of these dark areas a little bit. Then I'll just see where I need to make areas, some of these dark areas lighter and darker. Some people are gonna hate me for this, but I don't keep all my drawings. So I'll keep the ones that I like and that I feel that I can sell prints of, and throw away like the ones that I like, but I just not enough to keep, or that I feel like I probably won't be able to sell prints of. But I gotta make the sky look like kind of hazy. And this can be like a little cloud down here. It just kind of broke off from the monstrosity of a storm that's approaching. I've never done anything like this, like just huge clouds, like a sky with these massive kind of thunderstorms. The top of these clouds here, I want to bring out a little bit more like highlights. Since this side has some sky kind of showing through a little bit, I'm going to do the same up here. And my cloud is starting to take shape, or my storm. But it still looks really flat, so by adding these lighter areas, it just starts adding more depth to the clouds. I'm working with a 18 by 24 inch sheet of paper here. I think this is a good size to like frame and put up on a wall. And I'm just drawing some big like chunks of clouds. There's all one big storm coming. So I'm going to work on just breaking this up and also give it some depth. Some clouds will look a little closer to the foreground and some more further back in the distance. And I'm adding highlights, but they're not like the lighter highlights just yet. And just trying to break this up so there's not too many large flat areas, if I can describe these areas like this. I gotta add some light here. I can probably lighten this area here too. And I'm gonna get a piece of tissue here to soften some of my areas here. And I'll do like circular motions, so I don't leave any like streaks or lines. I have this cloud that I added some like highlights or lighter areas here, but I want to make the bottom of it just dark. It's this big dark cloud or group of clouds. I'm gonna have this as rain coming down. And I'm going to soften up the edges here. Really have to be careful when I use that charcoal stick, because it can leave like little marks. Almost look like little scratches. Make sure I blend this in nicely. I'm going to add a little bit of like dark areas here, like the bottoms of the clouds. I'm just trying to break it up so it doesn't look too flat, When I was first still learning to draw, I really used to focus on one little section at a time, and I would start building up layers in different sections. Like, we'll use this area, for example. Now, what I do, it's kind of like painting. is I just work in layers for the entire artwork, and then I build up layers that way too, like in stages. That way the whole drawing has like this cohesiveness to it. These are further in the background, so further away from my light source, or kind of hidden. This definitely needs to be darker. And I mentioned working in layers, so I can't forget about my bottom part here, so I gotta darken some areas down here too. So it's all one cohesive drawing. So down here I'm just doing like, I'm trying to break up this big old piece here. So these are gonna be like little areas where grass is growing a little thinner, I guess. Maybe that could be a trail. That's what I'm thinking. I'm starting to add a little more details with the charcoal stick. All right, now moving on to my kneaded eraser to pull out some of these highlights again. And these are gonna be really small, like I'm doing a little more detail here. Just pulling out some more details on these clouds down here. Trying to give them this like puffy, kind of billowy look. So yeah, just going back and forth, just eyeballing it and seeing where I need to puff up these clouds a little more. Play around with my shadowy areas. All right, so it's getting there. Just building this up. And I want to keep it soft, so I got to be careful with all these dark areas next to the highlighted areas. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I gotta clean this up a bit. So I'm gonna use my big eraser here, see if that works. That's when I drew that horizon line. Those drawings, it's almost done. Just have to work on this bottom part a little bit more. I wanted to try and see if it's worth the time to put in these kind of blades of grass here. This is in the foreground, so it's gonna be like really tall grass. And I'm not gonna put them everywhere. I'm just to kind of hint that there's some grass here. So they're a little smaller as they get further back, and bigger as they get closer to the foreground here. And I'm using a Tombow Mono Zero eraser for this. I'm just kind of flicking to create these blades of grass. And these are smaller back here because it's further back into the distance here. And now to soften these up a little bit. I like doing these clean white borders. Even if I don't keep the drawing, it just makes them look nicer. And I think that's about it. Looks done to me. I mean, I can keep working on it, but I'm happy with it. Just wanted to keep it simple. So hope you guys like this. And tomorrow I will be drawing another stylized portrait. Thanks for watching.